Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of my Let's Play series on War in the Pacific Admiral's Edition. In this episode I'll be playing the 1000 Mile War scenario, which is a scenario based on the Japanese occupation of the Aleutian Islands. Off the coast of Alaska. Now these islands were occupied by Japan very early on in the war, and at the moment it's April 15th, 1943, and the Americans figured, hey, you know, let's take back those islands. Now in real life the Japanese didn't really put up much of a fight. In fact, when the Americans tried to conquer Kiska Islands, the Japanese had already abandoned the island completely. But in this scenario the Japanese are actually fighting back, so we'll have to take those islands by force. A new mechanic in this scenario, which wasn't in place in the last episodes when I did the Battle of the Coral Sea, is the reinforcement schedule. Now as you can see here, and I'll sort this on ETA, you can see all the ships that will be available in this scenario, but you also see the amount of days it will take before they become available. A lot of cool stuff in there. There's actually a couple of battleships as well as a escort carrier, and a couple of amphibious assault ships, which we obviously need to take those islands. And the same goes for our let's see, ground units. These are the ground units which we'll mainly use to retake the islands. So let's see what we have. We currently own Adak Island with a couple of airplane wings, a bomber wing, 3 fighter wings, and you know, just the regular base forces, nothing too special. Then over here at Dutch Harbor, this is our home port for this scenario. A couple of patrol aircraft, a couple of bombers, a couple of fighters, and quite a lot of infantry units. As you click on these icons, you can also see their future objective and the amount of preparation they have done. Which basically covers the things, you know, when you order a amphibious assault on an island, you can't just put them in a boat and send them on their way. They obviously have to prepare the operation, and this number over here is basically their level of readiness. So generally you want to set your units to a objective and then let them train and prepare in order to get the best results. Again, short scenario, so we're not really going to bother with that. I believe the scenario is only 2 months. And we also have a couple of ships over here. So a couple of cruisers, lots of destroyers, a couple of submarines, as well as I believe this is a mine layer, a bunch of oil and a bunch of auxiliary ships. Now the thing is, because the ships I need won't be available until I believe something like June 5th. I believe it was 20 days. Let's recheck quickly. Yeah, so I'm gonna need all these assault ships here, these APA, and maybe even these landing ships, which means it's gonna be actually pretty boring the next 26 turns. Not really much is happening. Probably a couple of recon flights, maybe send out my submarines over here to grab a few, maybe some supply ships sailing on and off the island, but nothing major. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip through those 26 turns And then when my amphibious forces are ready and when the action is really gonna start, I'll pick up the action and we'll see what happens from there. So, see you in a short moment. Ta-da! And it's suddenly the 11th of May. I skipped through a bunch of turns. As I expected, not much has happened. I put a bunch of my submarines around here. They didn't really catch anything. They didn't even spot anything. So I did a couple of bombing runs on Kiska Island, which was a mistake because they shot down a lot of my bombers, giving them quite a lot of points. And now I've started to load troops into my amphibious task force. So these are the troops that will be sailing to Kiska Island, and when these are fully loaded, I'll merge them with a couple of battleships, cruisers, as well as an escort carrier to provide some air cover. And then we'll see if I can take Kiska Island from the Japanese. It should only take one turn. I believe I didn't set the turn limit to 1 yet. Oh look, so they started bombing my force. They started bombing the airport. Okay, so they started bombing the airport at Adek Island. Let's see, 11 Betties, 1 Betty damaged. They damaged 2 Warhawks, so nothing major. Let them do their thing. Okay, and I believe I forgot to set the turn cycle on 1. Oh, I did set it on 1 day. Okay. Well. And are you guys loaded? You are. So loading completed. So I'm gonna let's see. First I'm gonna undock you, and now I'm gonna transfer all these battleships to the task force. Bunch of destroyers as well. And what's your speed? Yeah, your speed is quite low thanks to the transport ships, so doesn't really matter too much what I add to them. I believe these are minesweepers. I'll just add them in as well, just in case the Japanese decided to drop some mines around there. I don't know if it's gonna have any effect like this. I mean, it's in the same task force, or maybe I should create a separate task force for them on the mine laying mission, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so you are going to sail to Kiska Island. You are going to unload, and when you're done, you're going to sail back. Now I do wonder, was I able to put everyone on there? Because when I was loading the task force, it did say that it didn't have enough troop space, which was quite annoying. And where can I see this? Yeah, so it didn't load everyone. That's quite annoying. So that's why I should. Well, I'll just go roll with it, and I'll pick up the stragglers after that. Well, nothing happened, so we'll just have to wait for our task force to reach their destination, and we'll get the fighting underway. Still nothing. Oh, I actually forget to set my carrier task force. Well, doesn't matter now anyway. Oh, so they have a bunch of midget submarines off the coast. These are usually pretty easily taken care of. See our destroyers already pounding it with depth charges. 11 hits, heavy damage. And yeah, large oil slick appears over area of attack. That's usually an indication that the submarine was destroyed. Okay, so the battleships have started bombing the coastal defenses. And now they're unloading the troops on the beaches. And the Japanese are instantly starting to bomb me. And no casualties on my side, it seems. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so let's see. Still busy unloading. That's quite a shame. I was hoping to be able to already retreat these forces back to port so I could pick up the rest. But what can you do? Can I put you on full speed? Yeah, I can put you on full speed. Now that may shave off a few turns when they're on their way back. Now these forces actually don't have a lot of assault strength. So what are the units we're dealing with here? Almost 5,000 troops, 14 guns, 2 vehicles. Yeah, so we're still massively outnumbered, so I'm just gonna put them on defense. In the meantime though, I am gonna do some bombing runs on the troops that are there. So my fighters are first gonna try to draw out their fighters, and then you are going to bomb Kiska Island. Ground attack, yep, perfect. And I'm going to do the same with my B-24s. Set all, you're gonna fly a little bit higher. And I believe... Oh, nope. When this asterisk appears next to the airfield, it means it's overstacked, so they don't have enough aviation support, supply, space on the aircraft, on the airplanes itself, or the airfield I should say. So that means that any offensive mission flown from there will have huge penalties. So I think I'm going to stand down one extra. Yeah, okay, so I stood down one more B-24 wing, and now they're ready to go. And I guess that's that. Battleships continue to pound on the coastal defenses, and I think this is the last of the damn, I forgot to set my escort carrier. Luckily they didn't do any damage. We even destroyed one of theirs. Still unloading, it seems. Still unloading. Now, okay. So there aren't any fighters anymore on this airbase, which is nice. Because now my bombers will just have a easy run. And they can, yep, they disabled a few squads. Warhawks, yeah, they're not gonna catch anyone. Now my fleet of liberators They did, well, a couple of casualties. And once again, the Japanese land forces are bombing mine. And again, no casualties on my side. Yeah, we have twice as much guns, so our retaliation will be much harder than their initial damage. Now, are you guys finished unloading yet? Yeah, you are. A little bit supply left, but I'm just gonna say cancel unload. And you are going back to Dutch Harbor to pick up any possible stragglers. And I think, right, my carrier. That's what I had to do. Now you stop training. So there were still flying out training missions, even though they were neck deep into the combat front lines. I'm going to set you to, well, escort, I guess, and 100% combat air patrol. And you will be flying a little bit higher, and every carrier fighter in this group will do the same. And what else do we have here? We have, what are these? Oh, they're all, yeah, they're all fighters. Okay. Right, so now at least we have air cover over our fleet. Well, what's over here? Yeah, just a couple of transports. Okay. So our amphibious task force will quickly sail back. Still no air units for the Japanese, so again my bombers will just have a free run. Still doing some casualties. Still bombarding me. I'm still outgunning them massively. And we'll just have to wait until my amphibious force makes it back to Dutch Harbor, so we can load up the rest and launch a assault. Maybe simultaneously attack Kiska as well as Attu Island. Just put the remaining troops for Kiska maybe on a couple of civilian transports, and then use the amphibious ships to attack Attu. They do have air forces at Attu though. Still, no air combat. Oh, so they coordinated their attack. Couple of casualties for the Japanese. Still nothing over here. Perfectly fine. Another bunch of liberators. Still pounding away at the enemy. Yeah, I'll probably just stop flying the Warhawks through there, because I think they've given up on any form of air force on Kiska Island. Okay, you stand down all fighters. This also prevents any losses due to landing accidents, stuff like that, because those still happen even though there's no enemy around for them. Okay, so shame they didn't make it in this turn, but we'll just have to... is there a way to set up a remote way to... No, I don't think so. You'll just have to... We'll just have to do one more turn. Kind of a waste, because they would probably be able to load up their troops in the same turn they would have arrived. So bombers are still bombing the crap out of them. But Japanese land forces still trying to bomb me. And still, I'm massively outgunning them, so they're not doing much. You know what? I actually should be putting my units on bombard as well, I think. Yeah, that's a shame. I should have done that way earlier, since I'm outgunning them massively. Okay, so my task force has disbanded, so I'm gonna believe it's no, I'll just put it on amphibious. So let's see. Oh, wrong. So I'm just gonna use the XAP ships, which are civilian ships, which are obviously not very good in a amphibious landing operation. But I'll just use these to pick up any stragglers. Possibly the last units that were left behind for the Kiska Island campaign. Yeah, so still a couple of units here. Well, I say couple, quite a lot actually. I'll just put you all. May not exceed numbers. Oh, so I have to include another ship. Done. I just load troops. Kiska Island. Accept. Right, so those are the forces going to Kiska, and now I'm gonna load up the troops going to Etu Island. Gonna make a new task force. Amphibious. Again, using all these specialized amphibious assault ships. And I believe that, yeah, those are all in the task force. And actually, I'm going to include these civilian ships as well, because I don't want to have the... Oh, so apparently you can load some troops as well. Okay, you can come along then. Now, can I dock this force? I cannot. Well, doesn't really matter. Start loading up anyway. And now, can I put them all in this task force? Again, I cannot. I need a whole lot more of troop transports. Okay, so who's gonna be left behind? I'll leave you, I'll leave you, leave you. Damn, I have to leave all these units which have quite a lot of assault value. It seems like I don't have much of a choice. You know what, I'm just gonna load them all up. Load, yep. Accept load. Just load up anyone you can. And then once again, like with Kiska, I'll pick up the stragglers afterwards. Probably a really bad thing to do, because you're, well, basically weakening your fighting power quite a lot, but we'll see what happens. And okay, so they're starting to bomb my airfield again. No damage, yet I damaged 2 betties of them. And now they seem to have been transporting, well, something. I know they are transport ship, cargo ships, so hopefully it's just supplies, no reinforcements to the hopefully no reinforcements to the land units. Okay, are you loaded up? Yes, you are. So I'm gonna no, I'm not gonna form a new task force. I'm gonna transfer some ships, and I'm going to give you a bunch of destroyers, and you'll have to make do with that. On your way to Kiska. Unload. Yeah, fine. Oh wow, you actually managed to complete your loading even though you weren't docked. Well, that's nice. Yeah, seems like they are. Well, so again, I'm gonna load up this task force with pretty much every combat ship possible. I don't know if I rearmed my ships. Yeah, I forgot to do that, so so now they can't move that much. Well, should be okay. And you are going to sail to Atu Island, and you're gonna take some crazy ass detour, it seems. Am I going to allow that? No, I'm not. You're just gonna sail directly to it. It chooses to take this detour because when you set the threat tolerance to normal, it tries to calculate any form of air superiority in the area here, and it tries to avoid that, obviously. But I'm just hoping my escort carrier will be able to take care of that. So, next turn. Now, shame my submarines weren't able to intercept those cargo ships. And oh, they moved up some air forces here. Okay. That's quite annoying because my bombers are obviously flying without any escort, so they'll probably pick off a few. Yeah, oh damn it. They destroyed two, so that's more points for them. And my bombardment attack, or their bombardment attack I should say. Still the only casualties are on their side. And my bombardment again, only their side took some casualties. So we're slowly whittling them down. Now I should just really check. Yeah, so this, by shooting down my planes, they almost get 100 points for that. So that's quite a huge one, because the bases of Kiska and Etu aren't really worth much. So even it's still a possibility that even if I capture them, the Japanese may still win. Which kind of represents the idea that, well, you managed to capture them, but you used up so many resources that you could consider it a loss. Something like that actually happened in the Battle of the Coral Sea, where the Japanese may have won that particular battle, but the amount of losses they sustained started hurting them in the long run. So, well, transports are still moving up. You know, gotta put you on full speed again. So maybe I can shave off a few turns. Maybe I should move up my submarines just on the doorsteps of those islands. Maybe I can pick off a few cargo ships. I don't. Oh, so what's this? What's happening? Okay, so these are the Japanese cargo ships unloading at Kiska Island, and this is my force. So these are the transports, but I've also got a few destroyers. So okay, and so they just chose to evade each other. And yep, they started to unload. Lots of casualties, unfortunately. And again, the Japanese are bombarding me. I got even more guns and more troops now. So. And I'm firing back at them. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so they're still busy unloading. That's fine. Now, are all these units... Oh, so you are still supposed to head to Kiska. Oh, that's a shame. What are you? You are... Okay, so you're a bunch of combat engineers. Could be nice. I don't know the level of fortification here, but... we'll see what happens over here. Now, am I going to attack their position yet? No, I think I'll just wait for the unloading to complete. In the meantime, I should probably stop. Stand down. I should probably stop bombing the islands because they're shooting down my airplanes on a pretty regular basis now. Still bombarding, still unloading. And oh look, my submarine did catch a transport ship and it got some torpedoes in, which is pretty sweet. Well, it managed to get one torpedo in. Afterwards it was hit quite hard and it seems it was destroyed, which is a shame. Yeah, it sinks. Said so right there. And oh, they're almost there. What's it? Oh, a midget submarine decides to attack. They'll probably get destroyed. Yep, destroyed. And another midget submarine. 11 hits. Probably also destroyed as well. Yep. And my ships are still unloading the troops on the beaches. Japanese are still trying to bombard me, even though it hurts themselves more than it does me. So how far are you? Still unloading troops. Is there a way to see how many there are still on board? Well, I don't know. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set these guys to finally attack the Japanese position. And we'll see what happens. Now am I gonna risk a bombing mission? Yeah, why not? But I am going to send escorts and hopefully they'll take off. And I'm going to do the same for our B-24s. Now, where are you? Ah, over here. Ground attack. Kiska Island. Set all to my B-24s. And you're gonna fly at a much higher altitude. And you'll arrive next turn. Still only just a bunch of cargo ships. So let's go. Still unloading, still receiving some casualties, unfortunately. Oh, so they started merging. I believe that's a sign they have unloaded everything. And again, another midget submarine. How many subs are there? Oh, I mean, it's good for me because every destroyed ship is a couple of points for me. I'm assuming midget submarines aren't that much. Okay, so the battleships have started bombarding again to soften up the coastal defenses. Is there a way to see? Oh wow, look at that. 300 Japanese casualties. 30 guns lost. Nice. Took some casualties in return, but and they started unloading. And they're still unloading on Kiska. Again, battleships bombing the coastal defenses. And again, quite a lot of casualties, a lot of guns lost, which is very nice. Well, my liberators didn't have an escort, but it seems that there were no Japanese fighters to defend the area, so. And another midget submarine. 15 hits, wow. Still unloading. And they started to bombard my units at Atu as well. Oh, they got some tanks over here. Ooh. That could be nasty. Oh wow. So even though they didn't load up all the troops heading for Atu, I'm still massively outnumbering them. And they bombarded me at... Oh, this is at Kiska, and this is probably... Yeah, this is my attack on the island. So let's see... so we clearly outnumber them. They do outgun us apparently. They have a level 3 fort. But we did manage to do more damage to them than they did to us. Now this could be a problem because fortification is very hard to destroy if you don't have engineer units. Oh, I do have some engineers. Okay, so we might still be able to take down this fortification. You are still unloading. Now, this obviously shows the inefficiency of civilian ships when they're trying to unload units on the beaches. Because last time it just took like 1 or 2 turns, I believe. I think this is the 4th turn already. They're busy unloading. And yeah, again, these ships have been unloading for 1 turn, and already the specialized ships are done, and the civilian ships are still busy unloading. And We do have quite a lot of assault strength. I'm just gonna set you to bombard as well. And I think that's it. Yep, still unloading. You still unloading as well. We are taking some casualties from all the coastal defenses, unfortunately. Now I don't know if those are casualties to my land forces or maybe the ships that are getting hit. Still unloading. Oh, so a bunch of land combat. The numbers next to these, I believe, are the assault value or the strength. But as you can see, my strength is much higher than theirs, so we should be able to take these islands very confidently. Well, we are pretty equal in Attu Island. Right, let's see. You're finally done unloading troops. I'm not gonna bother with the cargo, and I'm gonna set you to Dutch Harbor again, because apparently I still forgot to pick up some engineers. How about here over here? Still unloading. Fine, you stay there. You are going to stay on bombard mission, and you, I believe, yeah, you were. Everyone put on attack. And again, next turn. Still unloading. Still, it seems like the Japanese are, well, sitting there and letting it all happen. They're not really sending any fleets or something to stop us, for that matter. Japanese bombardment attack at Attu Island. They're bombarding us once again. Then a bombardment attack at Kiska. All fine. And now our counterattack on Kiska Island. Again, let's see. So, about equal casualties. Yeah, it seems like I really need those engineers to take down that fort, because this might hurt me in the long run. Okay. You still unloading? Nope, you're done unloading. Great. Cancel unloading, start heading back. Okay. Right, so my transports are moving back towards Dutch Harbor. And I think that's gonna be it for this episode. It seems like I'm doing pretty well. Still no decisive victories on either of the islands. I believe I do outnumber them, so hopefully it's just a matter of time. But this will be it for this episode.